Hello, everybody, because nobody else is here yet.
You're the star of the show.
Yeah.
You have anything you want to tell us before we start asking questions?
Yeah.
You guys have had some issues with, defending running quarterbacks. They've gotten some yards against you. Why do you think that is, and what kind of challenges?
Oh, it makes it 11 on 11. You know what I mean? It's when you got a quarterback run, you can't have an extra hitter, and it's an advantage. So it's just it's other than saying it any other different way. It's 11 on 11. You know what I mean? The quarterback is the ball carrier. Now, as far as running around as a passer, is that what you mean, or do you mean more as a runner?
Gaining yards as a runner, and how does this kid look this week? Because
he's good. They're Boston College now with a running quarterback. He's their leading rusher, so it's another factor. He's made them better this year than they were last year. Just simply because of that element that he can run. They're basically the same. I mean, are they not always the same? I mean, carbon paper cutout, big, huge offensive linemen, multiple tight ends. They're playing to their strengths, which is obviously tight ends and offensive line and quarterback. And, they've got a nice recruit in 32. The running back's a very good player. 23 is a good player. And they're, using all their weapons. They're a good football team.
What was your takeaway from that game Thursday? I mean, was it a
hot team? If you want to look at the film that we studied coming into that game, that was what we got. And we had to play really, really well. They put up yards like that against everybody. Went to Nebraska, scored 31, put up a bunch of yards. Duke ran all over the place. They scored 40. So Duke's good, offensive line's good, and they didn't put it in the quarterback's hand. The quarterback, they weren't going to let him beat us, or beat themselves rather. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously he looked like, when he was back there, he was scared to death. He was getting rid of the ball. I mean, how many passes did they complete? I don't even know what. 7 for 13 yards or something? I don't know. Wasn't any. They ran it for 500. Got our butt kicked. So we got to get better and got to get ready to. Ain't nobody feeling sorry for us. We got to win this one, and that's why we're approaching it, and our kids, and we all of a sudden just can't play defense. I mean, shit just kind of unraveled right there a little bit, and it does. I've been on the good side of that too, so it comes with the business.
Murphy looks like a little bit different. Of all these running quarterbacks, looks a little bit different than some, just because he's a little bigger, run between the tackles, run between the tackles a little bit. Everything doesn't have to be outside.
He looks athletic. He's good. Yeah. I like him.
Does he present a different element with that power game, or?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's just you got to defend a whole lot of stuff. They got a lot of film doing a lot of different things. So you got to defend a whole lot of things. They're very, very multiple, very, very multiple.
We're upset. Our players are upset. Everybody's upset. But we got great kids on this team. We had a good meeting on Sunday. We had a great practice Sunday night. Had a great Tuesday practice just now, and mood's good. Mood's good. It's ready to get back out on the field.
You guys have not been a team that's fumbled a lot this year, and then have 3 in a row like that. Where does that drive you nuts as a running back?
Makes you want to throw up. We went 13 games last year, and we didn't fumble one time, the running backs, in 13 games. And then to do it 3 straight possessions, it rips your guts out. You can't win games that way, turning the ball over. Miami made good plays on all of them, on march-ons. The kids fighting for extra yardage. My biggest fault with that was not necessarily the fumble, but I thought he was too high. We're on the 1-yard line. It's a safety trying to tackle him. What I've told him is that safety doesn't want to tackle. Safety does. Get low and run over the guy. Get underneath his pads. He got too high. Joel's, would like for the ball from a technique issue. He should have had the ball up higher. He was carrying it low. And then the guy from Miami literally put his helmet right on the ball. And then with Jerome's, a linebacker was in the hole that we didn't expect to be there. That Jerome saw at the last second. He tried to turn his body and protect himself because the guy popped up at the last second. It was a bang play. Hindsight being 20/20, you'd like for him to turn the other way and not turn to protect himself and turn the ball right into the guy, or at least make a move on him. You teach off it, you learn from it. We emphasize ball security more this year than we did. Not that we didn't do it last year. We emphasized the heck out of it each year, but we spent a ton of time on it this year just because we've got such young running backs, and we're doing the same things, teaching the same things that we did last year. 13 games, it worked out great for us. We didn't fumble. It happened to do it 3 straight possessions on Thursday night, which is unacceptable and causes you to lose football games.
Frank suggested again that Sam Rogers might have a bigger role in this. Do you envision that, him having more of a tailback responsibility?
Yeah, I mean, each week his role has kind of increased a little bit more each week. Beginning of the season, it was get in there some on third down and be the protector on third down. Then it worked into having him a little bit more involved in the passing game. To last couple of weeks he's been more involved as far as the tailback position goes. Yes. Sam's a guy that he's going to give you every amount of energy that he has. You're going to get it out of him. And there's not going to be anything left on the field when he's done. You want guys during this home stretch. It's a critical time for us. We're 4-4. You want guys out there that you can depend on, that you can trust, that you're going to get everything they have to give. And he's certainly one of those guys.
What do you think's missing from this offense right now? What's in terms of consistency?
I'd just say execution. We come in every Sunday as a staff and talk about where can we be better and things like that. And to me, it sounds simple, but just executing. And that goes back to us as coaches. I mean, we've got to. What we're asking our guys to do. Let's make sure. And each week we talk about this, but let's make sure we're not asking them to do too much. Whatever we're asking them to do, let's make sure we can execute. I can handle getting our butt beat if we're efficient and we're executing. What I can't handle is getting your butt beat when we're having mistakes each and every week that pop up here, pop up there. The first third down play was a mistake. We should have had the linebacker blocked. There's a mistake. One of the sacks was a mistake. Had a certain route called. That route didn't get called. So just let's make sure what we're asking them to do, we can execute, and then if we can just execute and be more efficient, I think it'll turn. Obviously, simple things. We can't turn the ball over. We've got to run the football better. And, we saw that in the third quarter. You saw signs. And there's a lot to build upon. I know a lot of people made a big deal out of our head coach coming in there at the end of the game and talking about how, proud he was. But there were some things in that third and fourth quarter that you are proud of. A coach told me a long time ago that you can tell a lot about a football team, the way they play, field goal block. After the other team scores, what is the effort level by the extra point and field goal block team? Do they go out there and just allow the extra point to happen, or they go out there and compete and fight their butt off to try and block it? Our defense went out there and fought and tried to block it. Sam Rogers is playing the last drive like it's the first series of the game. You saw a lot of things to build up on. Now we can't play as badly as we did the first half and get down in a 24-0 hole or whatever it was, but there are things that you saw that these kids hurt, these kids care. We let our fans down. We let a lot of people down Saturday night or Thursday night, but there's a lot to build upon.
Do you think it's fair that it seems like these days every loss is almost like a referendum on the program?
I mean, it is what it is. That's for you guys to talk about and fans to debate on message boards and people to talk about nationally and all that. It is what it is. I mean, we're 4-4. Not to make excuses. We've got a young football team. We got tons of injuries all over the team. We're not in any way making it okay the way we performed the last 2 weeks because it's not okay. But I get it. It's stuff. It's chatter out there. It allows people to talk, but we don't pay any bit of attention to it. All we can control is trying to figure out how to beat Boston College, and that's what we're doing this week. It's week to week in this business. I mean, last year at this time, Mississippi State's ready to run Dan Mullen out of Starkville. He's 4-6 going into his last 2 games. Now it's what job in America do you want right now? 3 years ago, Georgia's ready to run Mark Richt out of town because he loses to Central Florida in the Liberty Bowl. Now they're a top 10 team. I mean, it's college football. When you lose, you suck. When you win, you're great. And it's week to week in this business, and we got a hell of a football team. And our players have confidence, and what we've got to do is execute in all 3 phases and be more efficient and go get a win. But nobody in this program is sitting around saying, "Oh my God, things are so bad right now." 4-4, we got a bunch of fighters, and I'm excited to watch us play on Saturday.
From going back and watching the film of that game.
Man, just gotta continue to stay in coverage. You know, when you as a defensive player, you just let up some big. You gotta eliminate the big plays. That's what you definitely learn. But playing sound and technique, fundamental football, you gotta get back to that. Getting back to the first, for day one stuff. But it's tough. But you gotta stay in coverage, keep smiling, keep having fun, and just come out on the practice field every day and attack it like a game. And hopefully that transitions to Saturday.
As a senior leader, what can you say to some of the younger guys who might not have gone through a losing streak like this in the past?
I mean, just gotta stay positive. You gotta. As for me, I try to stay as upbeat and positive as possible. So keeping a smile on my face, even when things seem tough, even when adversities, kind of back you in the corner, just continue to keep smiling. And some people they continue to get encouraged by that. And just let everybody know, you just gotta, continue to bounce back. You can't let stuff like this hold you back. We have too much time on the team to, let adversity or things like that hold us back.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no problem.
You can't really look at it like that. I understand, I was just as excited and, just as eager to play Thursday as all the fans were in there. And, we let them down and they left early and everything like that. But, it's not the end of the world. Virginia Tech football is going to go on. We're going to win games. You just can't look at it like that. I'm a guy that, I read a little bit of stuff just to kind of motivate me, general things, like Tech can't play and stuff like that. But you can't read into, specific things and then start, you definitely can't believe what you guys are writing all the time because y'all know a decent amount, but y'all don't know, every in and out behind closed doors and everything and whose fault, certain things really are.
You want to tell us about that?
Not really.
How much has sort of the lack of a deep threat kind of limited this offense? It seemed like everything last week was sort of horizontal and not too many vertical shots down the field.
I think that's just the way I think that's, I don't really know. I think we have some deep threats. I mean, Bucky's a guy that's, 6'6", and he can run. He's a fast guy, and, he can go up and get the ball. And, we got some fast guys, I think, for whatever reason, the play calls were going that way. So, we're not in a position to really, question and overrule coaches on what they call. So, we're just going to do what they ask. And when you do the horizontal things right, which we didn't do, when you do it right, it opens up the deep game. So they have to complement each other. You can't just, just beg for, a downfield game and you don't have anything underneath or a run game to complement it.
Obviously, you've taken some heat, I guess, from fans, but when you go back and look at the way you've played the last few games, how much of the issues do you kind of put on yourself, and how much is more of the offense as a whole?
I mean, it's never just one guy. You go back and watch the film, and there's a lot of things that happen that you might not realize when you're watching the game or even when you're playing the game. But you go back and you watch film and you catch up on them, and you got practice and you fix those little things.
You were getting sort of killed for the interceptions, and you haven't thrown one the last 2 weeks. What are you thinking when you see 3 straight fumbles for a team that really hasn't had that problem?
That's football sometimes. Very unforgiving sport. We've been very good at holding on to the ball this year and not losing any fumbles, and then it happens 3 possessions in a row. That's I think we'll get better in that area, get back to where we were, not putting it on the ground, and if we can just get everything together, we'd be excited about where we're going.
Jerome Wright was a guy who was running with the scouts and now has a role for you. Where's your confidence level in him, and what kind of a player does he look like?
He's been looking great. He's gotten better each week, the more reps he's gotten in practice, and I thought that he played well during the game at times, and that it'll be that much better next week.
You're a guy who hasn't lost much in his career, high school player, and even at Texas Tech you weren't playing that much, but you guys, when you were playing, you weren't losing. I mean, how are you handling all this? How do you move on? How have you sort of regrouped here these these last few days?
Yeah, not really used to being in a situation like this, and it's tough. Obviously, wish I wasn't. Wish we weren't losing like this, but it's only as devastating and as hurting as you let it to be. You can't let what's happened in the past affect what's going to happen in the future. We got to go out and execute the game plan. We had a great day of practice today. Guys flying around, good energy, good effort, and just continue throughout the week doing that, and then go out and execute during the game.
When you go into this final stretch of games, do you think about the history of the program? Sort of maintaining the level that has, for the most part, the last 20. Do you guys think about that at all going into these games this week, or even just down the stretch?
We're just focused on, right now we're talking about being focused on one day at a time. Today our first goal this week was to have a good Tuesday practice. We had a good Tuesday practice. Tomorrow our goal will be to have an even better Wednesday practice and continue doing that throughout the week, and hoping that just canceling out all outside distractions and focusing on that one day at the task at hand, that will be fine.
What are you looking to do better this last set of games? Now that you've had 8 in your back pocket, what are you looking to really improve on here down the stretch?
I think just when the offense is starting to struggle, when we're going 3 and out, and we're trying to get things going, and we start sputtering, just be a guy that steps up and makes a play. Just whatever it has to be with my feet or with my arm, or audibling, just something to get us going. And I know that I shouldn't put a lot of pressure on myself and try not to do too much, but at the same time, it's part of the position to when things aren't going well, to get it going right.
How tough is it when you sort of get things going in that second half, and then 3 fumbles right in a row just kind of derail everything?
It's tough. I said it earlier, that's part of football. We've been good all year, holding on to the football and not fumbling, and then it happens, I think it was 3 drives in a row in the second half. So, I don't expect that to be a reoccurring thing. Sure hope not, but our backs have always been very good with ball security, so we'll forget about that and move forward.
You guys didn't throw the ball downfield a whole lot against Miami. Was that by design, or were you just taking what they were giving you? Were they taking those things away?
Yeah, they did a good job of taking some of those things away. Playing a lot of off-man coverage, and then mixing in some zone back there, and making it difficult for us to push it down the field. And then, when you get into obvious passing situations that we got into in the first half, it's tough when it's an athletic group like that. They can kind of pin their ears back and rush the passers. So we got to be better running the football and executing some of our mid-range pass game. That way we can set up some of that downfield stuff.